Hi, welcome to Landscape of Mothers. I'm Jill Clifton. Today's Ask the Mother question is, do I have to darken because others are annoyed by my light? I am going to have to make some guesses at this. My sense is, by the way that it's phrased, that you have an expression that you're having that's not in conflict with anyone. It's just you expressing yourself, and someone else isn't happy about that and doesn't like it. And the question is, should I change because someone else doesn't like my expression? The short answer is no. You get to be you. That is an active inner, like island mother, right? Like things are bubbling up and you're doing what's natural for you. And you, as long as you're in congruence and you're in alignment, that is, you're doing your thing and you're just expressing yourself, then people get to choose whether or not they prefer that form of expression or not. And then it's their job to set their own boundaries with how much of that they're willing to have in their lives. I also want to look at it a little bit from your perspective, obviously, as a boundary issue. And in this case, what we're looking at is, are the two of you a match? And the potential, it sounds like there's potential there that maybe your expression is not someone else's preference. And that would mean that you guys get to choose whether or not you want to have each other's energy in your lives. And either one of you can make these choices or set expectations around how much you're willing to connect. The one thing about the light and dark phrasing, though, okay, so I'm going to back up a little bit. So one thing is to decide whether or not you're a match with this person. They have no right to ask you to express your life differently. Especially not if it's simply on the annoyance level. If they're just like, I don't like how loud I don't like how fast you talk, and they've asked you to shift, but that's just like a natural thing for you. Or I don't know if it's that you like to talk about your gratitudes every day and somebody's like, freaking enough with the gratitudes, or something, where it's just a preference. Then they can ask for what they want. You're allowed to say no. So they can ask you to speak quiet or talk less about gratitude, whatever, I don't know. And then you get to choose. But if that's part of the implication of using the light phrasing, suggests to me that it's something that's just like emanating from you, that it's just part of who you are. And so you can make choices. If you really want this other person to be in your life, you can turn that dial down, your exuberance dial down just a little bit when you're with them, because you really want them to be part of your life for other reasons. Maybe they are important to you in some other way, and you could do that. That's one choice you can make. And if they're not, then you get to, turn up your exuberance dial as far as you want. And then the people who see that and love that about you and it feeds them too, those are your people. And you don't have to be people for everybody, so you don't have to be besties with everybody. The other thing about the dark light conversation, though, makes me want to stick a caveat on the end of it, which is especially in New Age conversations, there's a lot of emphasis on light and positivity and high vibration and all these things that suggest that things that don't feel good are not valid parts of living, that they're like the bad parts. And I would want to suggest that there's also that anger has its place. It's very informative. Grief is important to work through. And so if that's what you're talking about with light and grief, then I would say, or light and dark, then I would say that maybe there's, like anything, we want a balance, and that if your negative feelings were shamed or ignored or brought like difficulty or harm on you as a kid, I can see why we might become very like positive focused. Let's keep it light. Let's like raise the vibration or whatever. And while sometimes that's appropriate, the truth is that we're living in tough times and people are struggling. And if there's not enough room for the things that are heavy with the lightness, that might feel dismissive to other folks. So there's a lot of nuance in here, and I'm not sure where the questioner is coming from. So if I am off the mark, or if you want more about a certain piece of it, if you want to give me some feedback and head me in the right direction, I'd be happy to give you a little more. But there we are. Hope that's helpful.